Everything just changed for the Toronto Blue Jays. We just witnessed Shane Bieber's Blue Jays debut, his first start in over 500 days. After the Blue Jays traded for Bieber back in July, fans were hoping that he would become the ace that the Blue Jays have been looking for all season long. A guy who could take the ball in a big game in the postseason. But before we could dream of any October baseball, we had to see what Bieber was capable of. Could he be that ace guy? And last night against the Miami Marlins, we saw exactly that. With elite location, deception, and movement, he kept hitters guessing and sitting in between pitches all night long. It's only one start, but is it enough to believe that Shane Bieber could be the ace of the Toronto Blue Jays? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. In this one, we're going into some great deep diving details on his start last night and answer the question whether or not Bieber can be the ace of the Blue Jays. Before we get into it though, guys, I encourage you guys to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button, and also hit that new hype button feature. It pushes small content creators on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it if you could help the boys out. First of all, if you missed Shane Bieber's start last night, I am completely sorry that you missed an absolute dominant performance. You had to be there to believe it. You can watch all the highlights you want, but my goodness, watching every single pitch and following along with his game plan, it was beautiful to see. And I'm going to break down everything in this start that he did last night. I'm going to start very macro, and then I'm going to get very micro. So first things first, we got to start with the line. It is a beautiful line. He threw 87 pitches, 6 innings of work, only 1 earned run, and that is off of a solo home run that I'm going to highlight later. And I'm going to prove that even that solo home run he was in complete control of, which is crazy to say, I know. He had 2 hits and 9 strikeouts and 0 walks. I mean, hey, you can't get much better than that if you're Shane Bieber, on your first day back on the mound in over 500 days. And just look at the stuff. This is Pitching Ninja highlighting him striking out the side in the 4th. You could see absolutely dotting the fastball, absolutely locating that slider, starting at the bottom part of the zone, ending out of the plate. Even when he needs to throw it in the zone, he can hit the corner right there. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, I got a quote here from John Schneider, and I'm actually going to work off of this quote for the sake of this video. This is the full quote from John Schneider when asked about how good Shane Bieber was last night. Hazel May with the tweet right here. Quote, "Great tempo. Changeup was ridiculous. Slider was great. Spotted his fastball. Everything you look for in a guy who won a Cy Young. And he made it look way easier than it is, or that it is for most people coming off that surgery, which is true, right? Some people come off Tommy John. I mean, take the Miami Marlins for example here. Alcantara didn't look that great coming off Tommy John. This guy made it look absolutely easy. So let's start off with that changeup right here in the first part of this quote. The changeup was ridiculous, and I was actually highlighting that in our pregame show yesterday when we went live for the game for Bieber's start, and I heard a lot of rumblings that the changeup was much different, and we saw it last night. Here's an example of a strikeout he had against Xavier Edwards on that changeup. I'm going to play this, and I hope I don't get stricken here by YouTube. Look at that. That is a changeup that starts right here and ends up down low. It is perfect movement. You could see the absolute break. It's starting right there. Looks like it might clip the bottom part of the zone. It's coming out on a good arm angle, same as his fastball. Looks like the same fastball movement too, right? Because you're seeing right here, his fastball has a little bit of a tail on it. It looks like that same tailing action, and right here you got to commit if you're Xavier Edwards, and it just dips. It just absolutely dips. Here's another example right here against Troy Johnson last night. Same thing. Looks like the fastball and then absolutely just falls off the table. It's absolutely gross. And here's even more evidence of how gross that changeup is. This is the best changeup he's ever thrown in his entire career. Again, I know it's one sample size. Things might change, but just take a look at the Baseball Savant page here with the vertical movement on the changeup. In 2022, 2021, 2020, this is when Bieber was at his best. 2023, he started to experience some soreness and some injuries. 2024 is when he got the Tommy John, of course. So I always use this as an example right here that when you're comparing Bieber to his best stuff. But the changeup, vertical movement in inches, it's always been around this 1 point or negative 2.3, negative 1.2, this green line here, 0.8. Look at the movement. 5.1 inches of movement. That is by far better than any of his pitches, first of all. And because the changeup didn't have that much movement to begin with compared to the rest of his pitches. And now it is the best moving pitch ever. And this wasn't a weapon of his. It was always slider. It was always fastball, a bit of the curveball. The changeup, he's added a whole new weapon, which is completely amazing. And we got to see that last night. He got 3 strikeouts on it, and it was absolutely freaking gross. He could throw it to righties, he could throw it to lefties. It was awesome. Now, next thing in this quote, slider was great. It was great, John Schneider, because when you take a look at the location of the sliders, the yellow right here, the yellow dot is the slider, and my goodness, it was awesome. Look at the paint. Look at the paint. Like, you are dotting, and this is against righties. You are dotting the slider right here. You need to steal a strike, but you don't want to throw a fastball? No problem. I could throw the slider and I could dot it. I need a swing and a miss off the plate? No problem. Right there. He did that literally twice in the inning, in the 4th inning when he struck out the side. He dotted one for a strike, and then he dotted one out of the zone with great movement. Got people to swing and miss. Next thing in the quote, spotted his fastball. Literally going to use the exact same example right here. The red. The lighter red is the fastball. He paints it on the outside corner. He can get it up and away if he wants to get a chase. He can get it up and in on a righty. He can put it down and away against the lefties if he really wants to, or in. He can really put it anywhere, but where he's not putting it many of the time is over the middle of the plate. And the one time he did throw it over the middle of the plate was when he had a homer off him, but I'll explain that in just a little bit. He was absolutely dotting it. And if you're wondering about velocity, because everybody is wondering, well, how's the velocity doing after Tommy John? Apparently very good. Shout out to Chris Black for the breakdown last night. He averaged 92.7 miles per hour on that fastball. And for context, that's a harder average than any of Bieber's games in 2023 and 2024. So when he was dealing with the injuries, remember I brought that up, he threw harder than any of those starts, and only one game harder in all of 2022, and that is probably expected if you're coming off injury and you're trying to get ramped up for the season. He's still not ramped up yet. He's thrown technically 8 starts in a professional setting, 1 being the majors, 7 being the minors, so that's still something good to note. So when he's sitting at 93, everything plays well off it. He needs to be sitting at the 93 for the changeup to work, for the slider to work, for everything else to work. So, something to note right there. And then as well, kind of one of the final things right here is everything you look for a guy who's won a Cy Young, right? Everything. What are you looking for a Cy Young? You're looking for command. You're looking for all your pitches to be working. And you're looking for deception, movement, velocity. You're looking for basically a pitcher who can make batters sit in between and fool them. And look at Thomas Nestico, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. He makes great breakdowns on pitcher starts, and as you can see right here, I look at this column right here, the stuff plus. You got 4-seam at 104. If you don't know what that means, 100 is average, 104 is above average, right? He's 4% better than the average. So he's an above average 4-seamer, an above average slider, an above average knuckle curve. The cutter wasn't working too well. It started off pretty good, but then it wasn't working too well. It's below average last night. The changeup, like we've been highlighting in this video, well above average at 115. Overall, all above average stuff. There's not one pitch he can't throw that isn't a good and competitive pitch, right? That's a sign of a guy who's in complete control and who's got lots of stuff working for him. So, to sum up that before I get into like one of the more critical things of him, which I guess really isn't that critical. Again, location. He can throw any pitch at any spot. Movement, he can throw it with command and get great deception. It was filthy all night long. Every single strikeout. He knew exactly what he's doing. If you ever play MLB The Show and hey, I want to throw a slider down the way and I got the perfect movement on it, I could do it. I could throw it with the ease, especially if I'm an ace pitcher on the bump. That's exactly what it looked like in last night's showing. And I'm going to show the one home run here that he gave up. And I'm going to break down that at bat and show you why he was making still great decisions for the team and for himself. At this point in the game, the Blue Jays are up 3-0, all right? Up 3-0 here in the second, all right? He's still getting established, wants to keep the pitch count low. He was about to have a quick inning, a 3-up, 3-down inning, but then here comes Javier Sonoja, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and he's putting up a very tough at-bat. First pitch is a knuckle curve. It starts it down and away, and he gets a swing and a miss. He's been doing that a lot in the game, Bieber. So that was awesome. Then he throws it again. Can I get another swing and a miss, right? This is the thought process. I'll kind of walk you through his thought process right here. He doesn't. He spikes it in the dirt. He gets down pretty low. So he doesn't get the swing and miss. Third pitch is a slider. Does get a swing and a miss. He's just all out of the zone right here. Okay, if you're going to chase it, I'm going to keep throwing it. That's the thought process. So what does he do? The exact same thing. Fourth pitch. You're going to keep chasing, I'm going to keep throwing it. Foul, right? Okay, he's starting to make contact now. He's seen a lot of breaking balls. He saw my slider twice, my curve twice. Time to mix it up. Let's see if I can get the punch out right here. I'm going to elevate with this fifth pitch, go upstairs with the fastball, totally catch him off guard into, hey, Javier's like credit. He gets a barrel and he fouls it off. Okay, what does he do? Well, he's been chasing the pitches down the way. Now that I've elevated, let's go back to my good wipeout stuff. Let's give him a slider down in the way. He fouls it off again. This is number 6. He throws it down here yet again. He wants to throw it here, and he's getting the chases. Okay, you've seen my four seam upstairs. You've seen my slider. Respect, dude. You are fouling off, putting up an AB. Let me throw you a changeup, something with completely different movement. It looks like the fastball, like I highlighted before. Let's see if I can get you to swing over top it and like get it moving down by your shoe tops. Good job by Javier, where he doesn't swing, lays off. You know what? Are you going to expect it to happen again? Let's throw it again. But this time he does make a little bit of a mistake. He does miss, but his good miss is inside off the plate. He doesn't off-rat it. Changeup misses again. Okay, what do we do now? I'm getting tired. This is the 9th pitch I'm about to throw. At this point, Shane Bieber's going, look, I'm just trying to get 5-6 innings in this game. There's nobody on base. So worst you could do is hit a solo jack off me. I got a 3-run lead. I'm fine. I just want to get this at-bat over with. Let me throw you a competitive slider down the middle. If he fouls it off. Okay, now at this point, you haven't seen my fastball in 5 pitches, and I've thrown you so much junk, you got to be sitting off the fastball at this point. Well, he wasn't. He throws him the fastball and he hits it for a home run, but that's okay. He just thought, I need to get this at-bat over with. No more messing around. Just go after this guy. I was getting the swings and chases, but he's fouling it off. So maybe going just with a fastball down the middle might be the way just to end this at-bat, get a weak rollover, get a pop-up, get it out, get this at-bat over with. It was a solo homer, but it's okay because he moved on. He got the next guy out. He got him to line out to Dalton Varsho and end the inning and then go on to be absolutely dominant for the rest of the game. So point being, even when he was at his worst, he was still playing at his best and making smart decisions. Shane Bieber, folks, is the real deal here. And in conclusion, can he be the ace of the Blue Jays? Obviously, it's one start. I don't want to just start declaring him as the ace. He very well could be. There's still Max Scherzer in the rotation. There's still Kevin Gausman. But I could say this. He's probably got like 5 or 6 more starts left in the tank before we get into postseason. And if he plays at this caliber, and he's going to play against good teams as well, I think if he plays at this caliber, especially against the good teams, I think he will still do very, very well. I mean, when you're locating and deceiving batters like that and having a good game plan, you can do well against most of the best hitters in baseball. And if he does that the rest of the way, he can absolutely start in a postseason, whether it be game 1, 2, or 3. Honestly, folks, I don't care because you got Max Scherzer and you got Kevin Gausman playing really well right now. And now, if you want to throw Eric Lauer in the rotation again, he's been playing very well. Adding Shane Bieber to the mix is a blessing, and it absolutely changes the Blue Jays' future for the rest of the season because you look at now a locked-in 3-headed monster in the rotation that you can roll out any given day, feel good, paired up with the good offense, paired up with hopefully a bullpen that bounces back soon. We'll see how that progresses. And man, the Blue Jays are going to be rolling in the postseason. I'm very excited to watch Shane Bieber the rest of the way. I hope you guys are. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, guys, go Jays go.